Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so um I have to say this, I have to be very honest with you. I am not amused. I am not happy. The only thing that gives me joy right now is the fact that I am in the process of waking people up, and people are actually waking up. About a day or two ago, someone sent me a video of an actual sexual intercourse taking place in the Big Brother house. And many more are going to happen in the Big Brother house. And very soon, they're going to give you gay sex in the Big Brother house. And then after that, you're going to see sex between human beings and spirits, sex between humans and aliens, because they're already putting it in their music. Katy Perry already sang about it in her Extraterrestrial album. And Beyonce also in Renaissance talked about that. So it's going to happen. It's coming. Years ago, I made a personal decision by myself that for as long as that satanic filth called Big Brother show remains on television, that I will make out time every year to expose the evil that it is. And the reason I'm doing it is not because you're really going to change your mind, but because it's going to serve as a witness to you that you actually heard someone talk about it. So that whenever you turn on that TV to watch it, your conscience will remind you that this that you are doing is evil. You are enabling the emergence of the satanic New World Order. And I'm going to explain that to you right now, if you let me. The Big Brother as a concept emanated from George Orwell's 1984. I talked about this in almost every Big Brother expository video that I have done in the past. It came from there. There was no other place this was mentioned that I know of until George Orwell wrote that book. And that George Orwell's 1984, in case you don't know, is like a predictive programming book. You know what predictive program is? I did an expose on the predictive programming ceremony that took place at the 2012 London Olympics, which then predicted way back in 2012 that COVID-19 would happen and that Boris Johnson would be the PM of the UK at the time, and that he was going to come down with COVID and go to the hospital. All of these were dramatized in 2012 and they happened in 2020. Because the guys we are dealing with are demons in human flesh. You don't know that. I keep telling you this all the time, and you think I'm just making noise. These are not real human beings. We're dealing with demons. But you're confused because they look like you and I. They do predictive programming. They know what is coming. When George Orwell's dystopian book was written, they knew too well that we are going to have that time. We're going to come to a point in human history when every single thing that George Orwell described in that book is going to be our reality. And so today, in this very program, I am going to help you to understand better. It's no longer Joseph Okechukwu speculating. It's not conspiracy theory. I don't do conspiracy theory. It's up to you if you call it conspiracy theory, but that's not what I do. I give you reality. I give you facts that you can go and verify for yourself. And I want you to look at something that is very educational in nature, where they're breaking down the real meaning of George Orwell's book. I want you to understand, to pay very close attention as I play you this video. It's not very clear, but I want to play you the video. Listen to every word. Listen to every expression in this video and tell me if this video describes exactly what you are watching, what you are allowing to beam into your home every day.
There's a good chance you've heard someone say, "Big Brother is watching you." Maybe they said it to discourage you from doing something you shouldn't when you were alone and thinking that no one would know. Or maybe they said it to mean that the government is keeping tabs on its citizens with surveillance cameras or other means. The saying originally comes from George Orwell's dystopian novel, 1984. A utopia is an imaginary place where the government, laws, and social conditions are perfect. A dystopia is the exact opposite. It is a society characterized by oppression, misery, and often a totalitarian form of government that attempts to stomp out individual freedoms in favor of the state's absolute power.
And so this educational piece just told you the difference between utopia and dystopia. And here's what it says about dystopia. A dystopian society is a society characterized by oppression, by misery, and often a totalitarian form of government that attempts to stomp out individual freedoms in favor of state's absolute power. Misery. People who are miserable. People who have absolutely no power, no freedom. And then it talks about oppression. Now, when you look at the people inside the Big Brother house, those people that are called housemates, you can see that spiritually these guys are tormented. These guys are miserable. They have absolutely nothing to do other than just walk around like bugs and being watched by cameras and have the Big Brother voice without a face talking to them. Every single move they make is watched. You're having sex, you're watched. You're bathing, you are watched. You are eating, you are watched. No matter what you do, you are watched. In reality, in your normal life, is this the kind of life you want to live? Be honest. Apart from the fact that you are a Christian or non-Christian or whatever, do you think that the best way to live is to be watched by the cameras or by someone doing anything that you do in your home? Is this how we all live in our society? If this is not how we live, why are you patronizing a show that encourages that you must be monitored and watched and you lose all of your freedoms? You are not meant to ask any question. Do you know why? Because that Big Brother house is a mind control program that was created to actually directly and indirectly mind control the people who are watching. Your brain is being cooked. You're being incubated. You're being mind controlled into believing and living that life. They are incubating all these people. They are like victims inside that place. So even if you go to the Big Brother house as a free spirit, even if you go there as a normal person, you are not ever going to leave that place being normal. Your mind is warped. You begin to have split personalities. You begin to have all kinds of spiritual, emotional, and psychological and mental issues the moment you come out of there. Because what you see happening in that house is a spiritual phenomenon. I tell you this every day, and as we go further, you will see for yourself. It is very spiritual. As you watch, the thing that is happening to the people who are there is happening to you who is watching, because they want to give you an idea of what our world is going to look like. This is what life is going to look like under the Antichrist. The person you call Big Brother is a perfect description of the Antichrist, and you will see how the Antichrist is supposed to be a middle-aged man in his mid-40s or early 50s. That's what we have always known for him to be, and that's who the Big Brother is described to be. And the moment he announces his reign on earth, everything you see in the Big Brother house is what life is going to look like. You don't have anything else to do. They can provide for you. All you do is just think of any stupid thing and do it. You want to have sex with animals. You want to have sex with your fellow man or fellow woman or anything you want to do, just do it. Just allow yourself to be used and be possessed by that spirit and used for anything. You can't even think anything opposing, because they're going to have thought police. They already know what you are thinking. Noah Harari already told us that they have means of knowing what you're thinking, how you're feeling. When you kiss somebody, they know you've kissed. They know whatever is going on in your mind.
We now have the technology to monitor entire population and discover, for example, the outbreak of a new disease when it's only just beginning, and it's very easy to contain it and to follow all the infected people and know exactly where they are and what they do. But this kind of surveillance system can then be used to monitor many other things. What people think, what people feel. People will have no privacy at all in the name of protecting them from the spread of such epidemics. It couldn't be done in the Middle Ages, but it can be done today just to survey everybody. So if people don't believe the information they receive and they don't do it out of trust, they can be compelled to do it by an omnipresent regime of surveillance.
It all emanates from this kind of show you are watching every day. So you are helping every single day to propagate the regime of the Antichrist into our world. I want us to go further quickly.
Sometimes the leaders of dystopian societies attempt to convince their citizens that they're well off and well cared for by the government. This is the case in Orwell's 1984. In Oceania, the fictional totalitarian state that Orwell has created, every citizen knows that they could be watched at any time. There are telescreens everywhere, through which higher-ranking party members can watch and record their activities. According to the party, this surveillance is for the betterment of Oceania as a whole, and citizens who resist or disobey are labeled as traitors and soon disappear. The leader of the party is known as Big Brother. The people of Oceania constantly see Big Brother's face plastered on posters that paper the streets, on their telescreens, and stamped onto the coins that they use. His face is described as handsome with dark eyes, a mustache, and in his mid-40s. He's described here in this quote from the book. The black mustachioed face gazed down from every commanding corner. Big Brother is watching you, the caption said, while the dark eyes looked deep into Winston's own.
What did I tell you? Dark eyes. Who is it with the dark eyes that is watching you everywhere you turn? Who is that person with the dark eyes? And they give you the impression that it's okay to be monitored, that it's okay to be watched. Whatever you're doing must be exposed. This is the life they plan for the people of this world. That's why they've already shown you that the beast is here. Look at what happened at Birmingham Commonwealth Games opening ceremony. I am about to do a video on that. Despite my very busy schedule, I have promised and I'm going to deliver. I will explain to you so you can understand that the beast is already here. That's why you had that humongous beast introduced at that ceremony. And when I do my video, you're going to understand it even better. So with this Big Brother show right now and all the immorality and evil that is taking place, they are showing you the ideals that you must expect under the rule of the Antichrist. So when you are watching, by extension, your own brain is programmed and is adjusting to that state of mind of being a slave. These people are slaves that are bound to be oppressed, and they accept their oppression as okay. They accept the fact that they are miserable as okay. And you who is watching, it's becoming your own state of mind. That's why the thing is telepathically transmitted to you. Benjamin Creme told us that when the Antichrist comes, he's going to come into a telepathic rapport with every person above a certain age.
On the day of declaration, to get back to that, he will, I don't know how long it will take, maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something, 40 minutes, something like that. He will not speak, not say a word, but his thoughts, his ideas will be heard inwardly, telepathically, by everybody in the world, everybody above the age of 14.
What are you doing? Of course, I've always said it, I'm not going to control your life for you, but what are you doing? You're a Christian, even if you're not a Christian. What in the world are you doing watching that satanic filth? There are too many things to watch on TV, not this filth. Let me show you some other video.
Big Brother is watching you. Like the omnipresent eyes of Big Brother, several concepts from George Orwell's classic novel 1984 have become famous in popular culture. The character of Big Brother is perhaps the most well-known concept from the book. In this lesson, we'll look at several passages that evoke the power of Big Brother, explain the function of the telescreen, and establish the theme of surveillance in the novel. The opening pages of the novel establish two main characters, the protagonist, Winston, and the antagonist, Big Brother. Feeble for 39 years of age, Winston pathetically ascends to his walk-up flat. In the stairwell of each landing in his apartment building hangs an enormous face, more than a meter wide. The face of a man of about 45, with a heavy black mustache and rugged, handsome features. This is Big Brother. He's the nation's mascot, like Uncle Sam. He watches people out of telescreens. His giant face gazes at you silently out of posters and billboards. His imposing presence establishes the sense of an all-seeing eye.
Did you see that? What is it that is the insignia of the Big Brother? This is the book itself. This is the actual book from where this came from. You know, all the years I've been making videos about this, I've never really gone this deep into the book itself to show you what really is there. This is where they took everything from. Remember, this book is a predictive programming book to predictively program the whole world into the kind of life that we must expect to live under the Antichrist. And they are playing it out in a movie, playing it out in a reality TV show, and you are watching it, endorsing it, accepting it psychologically. That's it. All-seeing eye. What is the all-seeing eye? Look it up on your own. All-seeing eye, I've always told you this, is the eye of Lucifer. That's what they have as their insignia. This is it right here. So it's not by accident that this becomes their own insignia.
The idea that he's always watching from the shadows imposes a kind of social order. You know not to speak out against the party because Big Brother is watching. The poster with the enormous face gazed from the wall. It was one of those pictures which are so contrived that the eyes follow you about when you move. The face always appears with the phrase, "Big Brother is watching you," as if you could forget. The novel opens with a thorough description of what life is like in this dystopian society through the eyes of Winston. Imagine for yourself this terrible future. You have no privacy or freedom, and your every move is carefully scrutinized, or at least you think so. There's no way of knowing if and when somebody is actually watching. At the same time as the TV monitors spread disinformation, their cameras also watch.
One of those pictures that is so contrived that it's as if the eye follows you wherever you go because it's a mystical representation of a satanic event that has actually just dawned on us right now. I have done a video on symbols and sigils and how they control society and how that we walk past symbols every day that have influence and impact on us without knowing it. He said it's as if the eye follows you wherever you are. You are not allowed to speak out. Shut up. Don't say what you see. Be timid because you are oppressed. In the previous video, he said they are oppressed. Oppression, misery. Oppression, misery. Don't talk. Just cower and shut up and be the slave that you are. If you need anything, I can give it to you. Just be stupid. Just play fool. But don't ever think like a human being because you're bound to be reduced to something lower than an animal. This is the life the Antichrist is bringing to us. And it's not going to be in a very distant future. It is right now as we speak. That's why that Commonwealth Games ceremony has shown you that the time is now. When my video comes out on that, you'll understand more that we are now living in that time. And so my question to you, like I always do whenever I make these videos, is what do you think you are gaining by patronizing a satanic merchandise like the Big Brother show? Do you know that the biggest issue is not really you watching the show? It's not even the fact that you're spending your money and allowing this thing to come into your home. It is the fact that you are actually being mind controlled. You don't know it. It's a psychological thing. They call it psychological warfare. The moment you tune in and watch, before you know it, you start having what we call cognitive dissonance. You start getting numbed to these realities. It no longer means anything to you. That's why we have the kind of society we have today. Look at most of the people who have passed through the Big Brother house. They go in normal, they come out abnormal. Forget about the razzmatazz and the fame you see afterwards. They are all abnormal, nearly all of them. Because this show is not a normal regular show. It's a spiritual show. I'm not speaking out of emotions. I know this, man. I'm a researcher, big time researcher. And I can make boast of that. Check out every single thing I've ever put out as a research material on my channel and tell me which one has been wrong. I'm telling you the truth, man. I'm telling you the truth. I remember when I did a video about sex magic, not too many people were interested until something started happening recently where people now understood that, when you go to have sex with someone who is an occultist, that they're going to be taking your glory as a woman, they take your womb, they take this and that. Now it's making sense to them. I made a video about this how long ago? People, you need to start paying attention to these things. How can you let this beam into your home? It's an influence that is electronically, telepathically being channeled to your home, and it brings your house under a serious spell. And your husband suddenly starts cheating on you, your children start being wayward, and you start looking for someone to go sleep with and stuff like that, and you wonder, where did all this come from? But we go to church, we are deacons, we are this. What are you letting into your home? Why do you go to secretly watch this evil? It's unlike any other profanity you watch on TV. This one was originally created with a mystical agenda to be able to possess the people who watch it, just like those who are already taking part in it. Would you quit today? It's up to you, man. You know, you own your life. You bought your TV, you have your device. I didn't buy that for you. It's up to you. Whether you're Christian, Muslim, or whatever, it's up to you, man. But I have to tell you the truth. For me as a Christian, the Bible says that you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. So, and the only way the truth can set you free is if you accept the truth that you have known. Because sometimes people will know the truth, but they don't want to accept it. But if you know the truth and accept it, then the truth will go to work and break the yokes and set you free. That's my prayer today. That God will give you the grace to say no to a satanic filth that does more harm to you and your family than good. It's the wise thing to do, man. I pray for grace, and I hope that God will give that grace. Like He has given me, I pray He will give it to you too, and that you will do what is right when the time is right. I love you with all my heart, man, and I pray that God keeps you. God bless you.